I can't think.
Hello, my name's Steve. My channel's Spielyspiely. I'm all about collecting flesh and blood. That's what I'm about now. That's it. Pokemon? It was Pokemon. It was Pokemon, and did I have a problem? Yeah, probably had a bit of a problem with it. Now, flesh and blood. This is where things are going to be. So let me give you a little bit of background on myself first. Okay, so I started collecting Pokemon probably around about 6 years ago, I think it was in total. I really just enjoyed finding the individual single cards, getting them, even sending them off to get graded, waiting for the excitement to see what sort of grade I was going to get on the cards, and then pretty much hanging on to them. For me, someone who enjoys spending money, I would say, yes, very much so, enjoys spending money. I really wanted tangible things that I could sort of hold on to and sort of keep for an extremely long time. So I turned to Pokemon and I started collecting, and my collection, I'm going to do a whole video on just my Pokemon collection so you can have a bit of a look at it and see. But to give you an example, I mean, I've got a PSA 8 base set, unlimited, complete. So every single card in that base set is a PSA 8. It was sort of something that I had to shop around and find, and it took me a long time to do, but I individually purchased each PSA 8. The reason for that, just to give you an idea about my thinking behind it as well, is a PSA 10 grade of a base set unlimited, I would say is out of reach for most people, to be honest with you. I reckon there's very few, probably 0.1% of the population that could probably even afford to spend that sort of money on even purchasing a set like that. So my goal always was to get a PSA 8 set together and then look at obviously selling it. So I'm really into the actual investing side, into TCG games, rather than the playing side. If you actually ask me to play a game such as Flesh and Blood, I would not know the first thing to do. Now, that's probably really hard for a lot of fans of Flesh and Blood to hear, but it's the truth. I'm going to be honest with you guys about absolutely everything, and the truth is, I don't know how to play the game. Can I learn? Yeah, probably. I probably can learn. Do I want to learn? I actually don't know if I actually want to learn to play the game. But what I do recognize is, I recognize the investment value in the game. So I listen to people who play the game, okay? I get their responses from how they play the game. And is it a game that's going to last? And in my opinion, as an investor, yes. I think it is. I think it's going to be it's going to become the fourth one, the big four. It's going to be in the big four. Okay, so obviously you've got the big three at the moment, but I think, honestly, in about a year's time, and especially after the World Championships is held in Vegas, I honestly feel like this is going to start to push into one of the most recognizable games in the world. And there's a few reasons for that. And I have to tell you right now, I have absolutely no connections with Flesh and Blood, Legendary Studios, anything like that at all. I'm purely speaking just from a mainstream investor who knows nothing about actually playing TCG games, okay? And I want to give a bit of an insight of what attracts me to this game and what I feel will attract a lot of other people to this game too, from an investment point, okay? To start with, the quality of the artwork on these cards is actually phenomenal, okay? I would say the quality of these cards are the best that I've ever seen, okay? From the feel of the cards to the foils, absolutely everything to the actual artwork of them is really interesting. So when I look at, if I compare it to Pokemon, for example, and I look through the cards, and obviously I'm looking for, my Zards and Blastoise and all the absolutely iconic characters that I can find. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. The artwork it's just not even in comparison to how good Flesh and Blood is. I stop when I do a break of Monarch First Edition, for example, of Flesh and Blood. I'll do a break of it. I will stop and I will just admire the base set common cards just for what they are. I've literally put a couple aside, just going, they're not a foil. The value of the actual card itself is probably 30 cents or something like that. But for me, just the artwork's phenomenal. So if any of the artists out there actually watch this video, I have to take my hat off to you because you've done a phenomenal job. It's really poster quality sort of stuff. So that sort of gets me onto my next point in a way as well. Legendary Studios really needs to get onto some high quality merchandise. Like, I actually looked for a t-shirt. I want to wear a t-shirt. I want to wear a Flesh and Blood t-shirt. And if it has anything like this kind of artwork on it, are you kidding me? I'll be wearing this everywhere. So if they do get out there and start making t-shirts and things like that, or if they already have, let me know. Drop a comment down and tell me. Send me a link or something like that, because I'm just going to claim them up because they're amazing. The other thing I really love about Flesh and Blood is the cold foils. Okay, so I'm obsessed now with cold foils. All right, I would have to say I would say about 37, maybe 40 now. Cold foils. Okay, Monarch First Edition. I think I've got a couple from some of the other First Edition boxes that came out earlier, but yeah, mainly Monarch First Edition. And I feel like from an investment point of view, Monarch First Edition is going to be where it is at. I just from myself and what attracted me to it is just absolutely phenomenal. The cards themselves are just absolutely amazing. So, yeah. So, what have I done? Well, I've committed. I've committed myself, and I've taken a bit of a risk. Like any sort of investment or anything you do in life, you're only really going to get ahead if you take risks. Okay, it's as simple as that. I mean, you can go 9 to 5. Go through, do all that sort of stuff, and eventually you're going to be in the same place, I feel personally. Okay, it's not for everyone taking risks, but me, definitely, I'm 100% down the risk factor, that's for sure. Now, as far as the risks go with this game though, I know the market's moved so much. It went up, it went down, it went left, it went sideways, especially for Monarch in particular. I understand people overspent initially. At the moment though, I feel this is at a base level, and in the next 2 years, I feel cold foils in particular are going to be so scarce to find. I feel as soon as people start actually grading cards a little bit more, and this myth of PSA not accepting cards too disappears, because I have to say I'm a huge fan of PSA. I am. I mean, obviously Beckett is Beckett. I feel turnaround times on PSA, especially sending from where I am in Australia, it's quicker. Okay, so I think once we see more and more cards, especially cold foils, actually selling and getting listed on eBay and TCG and so forth, trading, I believe the prices are going to go up. Okay, they really are. Because, I mean, as a mainstream investor, especially going into Pokemon, a little bit later than some other people did, as there's so many fake cards out there, I just would not spend money at all. I'll barely spend $10 on a card unless it's graded. Simple as that. I just won't do it. It's too much of a risk. They're getting so great at copying things and it's really hard to tell. And the last thing I want to do is go and get a card, spend $150 to send it off to PSA to get graded, for it to come back and say it's fake. It's just something I can't afford to do. I'm sure a lot of people out there can't afford to do. So I just don't take the risks. Now, with Flesh and Blood, where this differs, Okay. Obviously, the market of graded cards are so small. I mean, you could probably say there's a handful out there. All right. You've got the Fables out there, and maybe you've got a couple of cold foils as well. I think, for example, Phantasmal Footsteps, I have seen one graded like that, and I think it got a 9 or a 9.5 at Beckett. So I feel the more these cards get graded, the more secure your investment's going to be into these cards. And that will then bring more mainstream investors, because they might just even hear on a wisp, okay, owning a Phantasmal Footstep, PSA 10 is the same as owning a first edition Zard. Okay, so I feel like it's going to get to that point where there is going to be about 4 or 5 cards out of the Monarch First Edition. I have no doubt there are going to be some cold foils in that mix that are going to be the Blastoise, the Zards of this world. And do I have one of those? I don't know. Time will tell. Time will tell. And that's why it is important, even as an investor, although I don't know how to play the game, I listen to people who do play the game. Okay, because I know there is benefit in these cards, and that will become a household name. What the power of a Phantasmal Footstep can do in the game is going to matter. Okay, so although I don't know how to use it, I'm going to learn about what are the most powerful cards. Okay, what are the best cards to have in your deck? Okay. Oh, hello, Oliver, and he's up there now. All right, you keep your paws off those, though, please. So basically, that's my first thoughts, okay, on the game itself and from an investment point of view. And I think right now is the time, if you are looking and you have got some money, I think right now is the time to get in. Just back quickly before I forget on the whole point of buying graded cards in Pokemon versus buying non-graded cards now in Flesh and Blood. Obviously, there's no fakes out there. Simple as that. There's not. And one of the things I think there won't be many fakes out there, even in the future as well, is the artwork. The artwork is phenomenal. The attention to detail on these cards is amazing. If someone was to try and rip one of these cards off, okay, it would cost them a fortune to get it even 50% close. Now, that is a big, big investment opportunity, I feel, okay, because I feel even in 5 years' time, you will be able to buy the cream of the crop of Flesh and Blood for a cheap price, ungraded. Okay, and you still have the confidence in your purchase to know that, you've got a legendary cold foil in your hand, that it's real as well. And if you do buy one on eBay and you spend some money on it and you get it, it's going to be pretty bloody obvious to tell that it's not real. Unlike some of the Pokemon cards, to be honest with you. So, yeah, just the artwork, the detail, especially in the foils and so forth, is just phenomenal. Like this artwork, I just cannot go on enough about how great it is. It's got this adult vibe to it too, which I really love. Some of these cards, so I've got some really great Majestics here that I'll just have a quick look at. Some of them are violent. They really are. And to be honest with you, it's just the artwork in them though is phenomenal. So yeah, even if you look at this card, for example, okay, this is a non-foil Majestic Spielyspiely, okay, all right. I do know that in the actual foil version of this card, the blood itself actually moves. And I mean, it's violent. It is actually violent. There's another couple of cards as well that I will show you later. I'll show you my complete collection over time. But yeah, it's one of those things where the artwork itself really appeals to people. I mean, it's beautiful. It's actually absolutely beautiful artwork. It is absolutely gorgeous. So, I mean, yeah, that's what really attracts me to it. The foils in particular, absolutely amazing. Okay, so that's enough of me rambling on. This is my first video. Please make sure if you enjoyed it and you really want to see some more, please subscribe. I'm yet to ever do YouTube videos before, so I'll be nervous about the response I get. Yeah, and so to finish off the video though, I do have to admit I haven't bought all these as singles. So, where is my phantasmal footsteps? Okay. My first box, I pulled this. My first box, okay? So it's going to sit with me for a long time, this card. This is my first box, and I pulled this legendary cold foil. That to me was a sign I'm in the right game, and yeah. So I'll actually upload that video at the end of this, and yeah, you can have a bit of a watch and see that. So yeah. All right, well, enjoy everybody. Flesh and Blood, it's going to be the next big thing, I have no doubt. And yeah, once again, please feel free to subscribe. And if you have any comments or questions or anything like that, please just ask down below. I'll get back to you.
There's not much to do when all I can is thinking about you. Not doing well, don't know where you are, 'cause you're not here. It's been way too long. If I could lay down beside you, I would. When nothing really matters, that's all I wanna do. I hope that you are safe and that I will see you soon. If I could lay down beside you, I would. We talk on the phone every night. Love to hear your voice, not sleeping well. And I know that you're right, but you should know it. You've been gone for way too long now. If I could lay down beside you, I would. When nothing really matters, that's all I wanna do. I hope that you are safe and that I will see you soon. If I could lay down beside you, I would.